Hello, welcome to today's immigration tidbit. Well, voluntary departure does not take long to get if it's done properly. Normally, a voluntary departure is done in a removal hearing in front of the judge, and it's one hearing. And you necessarily need to show that number one, you qualify for voluntary departure. Number two, you'll leave on the date certain in order to get voluntary departure, and that you have money in which to leave the country before that date, and you will not require government assistance in which to leave. And if it's granted, then it's granted, and you have voluntary departure. And then, of course, you have to leave before that date, and or if you appeal and possibly lose on the appeal, that you get the voluntary departure reinstated. The voluntary departure, by the way, if you get it, and you leave 1 minute after the time specified to leave, that voluntary departure has turned into a deportation order. And even if you left after the date, you left with a deportation order, you left with a bar of the deportation order, and can't come back for years unless certain things are done. Now, the voluntary departure does not erase other grounds of inadmissibility. So let's say that you're subject to the 3 to 10 year bar because you've been here unlawfully for more than a year. The voluntary departure certainly is helpful in that it won't get you a deportation bar. You won't have a deportation on your record, but you still are going to have to somehow do the waiver of the 10-year bar if you're subject to it, and you still will need to do other waivers if you are inadmissible on other grounds. So keep that in mind. I think by the nature of your question, you're thinking all you have to do is ask an immigration official to give voluntary departure. And unless you're just entering the U.S. and want to withdraw your application, the immigration officials don't normally or have jurisdiction to issue a voluntary departure order. They issue all the time voluntary deportation orders. And a lot of people get voluntary deportation confused with voluntary departure. Obviously, you want voluntary departure because it doesn't have the deportation stigma, it doesn't have the deportation bar, and all in all, it will be better for you if you can get that. Okay.